Got a brook trout sitting right there. I'm gonna see if I can one-hand him with camera. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. This week we're gonna be looking at some footage that I captured in Fortress Lake, British Columbia. Weather had been nice and sunny, and then a storm rolled in, temperatures dropped, got windy, rainy, cloudy, and we're gonna look at some keys to success when the weather changes. Got a brook trout sitting right there. I'm gonna see if I can one-hand him with camera. Oh, he almost ate that. Dang it, I just missed him. Pulled it away from him. He's still there. I think he'll eat it. Pulled it away from this brook trout twice. Let's see if he'll eat it a third. Got him. Got him. That's freaking awesome. When you're trying to land a fish without the help of a net man, what you want to do is, as that fish tires out, he comes to the surface, you're going to extend your net hand towards the fish, and you're going to keep your rod nice and high, extend it back behind you. That way the rod can still act as a shock absorber, and that tip is going to absorb any of that movement so that you don't break a fish off right at the net. If he goes on a run, then you can extend your arm forward and allow line to peel off the reel. Remember, as that fish is coming towards the net, you always want to net them head first so that if they make any last minute movements, that they're directed right into the net. When temperatures drop, the fish really slow down, In this case, the fish had been aggressive. We were using larger streamers, faster retrieves. We had to size down our flies, and we went from streamers to nymphs or small leech patterns that were weightless and stripped really, really slowly. And we fished nymphs underneath an indicator so that the fish didn't have to move very far or work hard to get a meal. So what I did is I would walk around the lake and look for groups of fish hanging off of structure, trees, drop-offs, rocky points, near weed beds, or cruising fish that were on the feed, and I would present either a weightless leech to them, stripped really slowly, or I would cast my nymphs underneath an indicator and let them bob up and down in the wind and the waves to give them some motion. Remember, I always tie my nymphs on a loop knot so that they have extra movement and they don't look like they're attached to a piece of wire. My two main setups here was a 6-weight lined with an intermediate sink line and a 5-weight lined with a floating line. On the floating line, I would fish my nymphs underneath an indicator or occasionally clip off the nymphs and the indicator and put on a weightless leech pattern so that it would sink very, very slowly and I could really, really slow down my retrieve. With the intermediate line, what I would do is fish, again, a weightless, typically a weightless leech, and I would strip it really, really slow. With the intermediate line, you can target those fish that are maybe a little bit deeper in the water column, let's say 5-6 feet, while still retrieving very, very slowly. With a sinking line, if you're gonna, or with a floating line, if you're going to target fish that are maybe a little bit deeper, it will take so long for that fly to sink down to their level that it's just a lot more efficient to use an intermediate line. You can still retrieve very slowly with that intermediate line, but you get down to them a lot quicker. On some of these fish, you can see that I'm really applying a lot of pressure as I'm fighting them. I'm using heavier maxima here with these leeches and small streamer patterns, and I'm really just putting on the heat so that I can get them to the net quickly. But even as they come to the net, I still raise my rod tip, stand my arm back behind me, and slide them into the net head first. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos and the instructional aspect of them. If you haven't already, please subscribe and comment maybe some ideas of what we can do better, videos and ideas that you'd like covered, and we'll see you next week.